Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. So we'll continue 4.4.24. Sati leaves her body. So from verse 24 to 27, it's about Mother Sati leaving her body. Okay. So the background is, Daksha had a sacrifice, and then he started insulting Lord Shiva, and then again Sati wanted to go to her father's house, and she went, and from there again she gets insulted, she gets ignored, and then she plans to leave her body. So we'll continue with 4.4.24. Maitreya Uvaja Iti Advare Daksham Anudya Shatruhan Shitau Udichim Nishashata Shantavak Sprishtva Jalam Pita Dukula Samvrita Nimilya Drigyoga Patam Samavishad. Maitreya Uvacha Iti Advare Daksham Anudya Shatruhan Shitav Utichim Nishashata Shantavak Sprishtva Jalam Pita Dukula Samvrita Nimilya Drigyoga Patam Samavishad. Maitreya Uvacha Iti Advare Daksham Anudya Shatruhan Shitav Utichim Nishashata Shantavak Sprishtva Jalam Pita Dukula Samvrita Nimilya Drigyoga Patam Samavishad. Prabhu. Maitreya Uvacha Iti Advare Daksham Anudya Shatruhan Shitav Utichim Nishashata Shantavak Sprishtva Jalam Pita Dukula Samvrita Nimilya Drigyoga Patam Samavishad. Maitreya Uvacha Iti Advare Daksham Anudya Shatruhan Shitav Utichim Nishashata Shantavak Sprishtva Jalam Pita Dukula Samvrita Nimilya Drigyoga Patam Samavishad. Maitreya Uvacha Iti Advare Daksham Anudya Shatruhan Shitav Utichim Nishashata Shantavak Sprishtva Jalam Pita Dukula Samvrita Nimilya Drigyoga Patam Samavishad. Maitreya Uvacha Iti Advare Daksham Anudya Shatruhan Shitav Utichim Nishashata Shantavak Sprishtva Jalam Pita Dukula Samvrita Nimilya Drigyoga Patam Samavishad. See the synonyms. Maitreya Uvacha. Maitreya said, Iti, thus, Advare, in the arena of sacrifice, Daksham, to Daksha, Anudya, speaking, Shatruhan, O annihilator of enemies, Shitav, on the ground, Utichim, facing north, Nishashata, sat down, Shantavak, in silence, Sprishtva, after touching, Jalam, water, Pita Dukula Samvrita, dressed in yellow garments, Nimilya, closing, Drig, the vision, Yoga Patam, the mystic yoga process, Samavishat, became absorbed. Translation: Maitreya, the sage, told Vidura, O annihilate of enemies, while thus speaking to her father in the arena of sacrifice, Sati sat down on the ground and faced north. Dressed in saffron garments, she sanctified herself with water and closed her eyes to absorb herself in the process of mystic yoga. Maitreya, the sage, told Vidura, O annihilate of enemies, while thus speaking to her father in the arena of sacrifice, Sati sat down on the ground and faced north. Dressed in saffron garments, she sanctified herself with water and closed her eyes to absorb herself in the process of mystic yoga. Hare Krishna, Supriti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. It is said that when a man desires to quit his body, he dresses in saffron garments. Therefore, it appears that Sati changed her dress, indicating that she was going to quit the body given by her father, Daksha. Daksha was Sati's father. So instead of killing Daksha, she decided that it would be better to destroy the part of his body which was hers. Thus, she decided to give up the body of Daksha, give up the body of Daksha by the yogic process. Sati was a wife of Lord Shiva, who is known as Yogeshwara, the best of among all yogis, because he knows all the mystic processes of yoga. So it appeared that Sati also knew them. Either she learned yoga from her husband or she was enlightened because she was the daughter of such a great king as Daksha. The perfection of yoga is that one can give up one's body or release oneself from the embodiment of material elements according to one's desire. Yogis who have attained perfection are not subject to death by natural laws. Such perfect yogis can leave the body whenever they decide. Generally, the yogi first of all becomes mature in controlling the air passing within the body, thus bringing the soul to the top of the brain. Then, when the body bursts into flame, the yogi can go anywhere he likes. This yoga system recognizes the soul, and thus it is distinct from the so-called yoga process for controlling the cells of the body, which has been discovered in the modern age. The real yoga process accepts the transmigration of the soul from one planet to another or one body to another, and it appears from this incident that Sati wanted to transfer her soul to another body or sphere. Hare Krishna Mataji.
One more sloka. Utva samanau anilau jitasana Shodhanamuttapya chanabhichakratah Shanaihridi stapya diyorashishitam Kantad bruvor madhyam anindidatnayat. Translation: First of all, she sat in the required sitting posture, and then she carried the life air upward and placed it in the position of equilibrium near the navel. Then she raised her life air mixed with intelligence to the heart, and then gradually towards the pulmonary passage, and from there to between her eyebrows.
Purport: the yogic process is to control the air passing within the body in different places called Shat Chakra, the 6 circles of air circulation. The air is raised from the abdomen to the navel, from the navel to the heart to the throat, from the throat to between the eyebrows, and from between the eyebrows to the top of the cerebrum. That is the sum and substance of practicing yoga. Before practicing the real yoga system, one has to practice the sitting postures because this helps in the breathing exercises which control the airs going upwards and downwards. This is a great technique which one has to practice to attain the highest perfectional stage of yoga, but such practice is not meant for this age. No one in this age can attain the perfectional stage of such yoga, but people indulge in practicing sitting postures, which is more or less a gymnastic process. By such bodily gymnastics, one may develop good circulation and may therefore keep one body fit. But if one simply restricts oneself to that gymnastic process, one cannot attain the highest perfectional stage. The yoga process, as described in the Keshava Shruti, prescribes how one can control his living force according to his desire and transmigrate from one body to another or from one place to another. In other words, yoga practice is not meant to keep the body fit. Any transcendental process of spiritual realization automatically helps one to keep the body fit, for it is the spirit soul that keeps the body always fresh. As soon as the spirit soul is out of the body, the material body immediately begins to decompose. Any spiritual process keeps the body fit without separate endeavor. But if one takes it that the ultimate aim of yoga is to maintain the body, then he is mistaken. The real perfection of yoga is elevation of the soul to a higher position or the liberation of the soul from material entanglement. Some yogis try to elevate the soul to higher planetary systems, where the standard of life is different from that of this planet and where the material comforts, lifespan, and other facilities for self-realization are greater, and some yogis endeavor to elevate the soul to the spiritual world, the spiritual Vaikuntha planets. The Bhakti Yoga process directly elevates the soul to the spiritual planets, where life is eternally blissful and full of knowledge. Therefore, Bhakti Yoga is considered to be the greatest of all yoga systems. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Mataji. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshulmidam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakata Mahyam Tadadi Swapatantikam Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nidinamini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Kritva Samanau Anilau Jitasana Shodhana Muttapya Chana Api Chakrataha Shonai Hridi Stapya Dhiyo Rashi Stitam Kantad Bruvor Madhyam Anintitanaya. Translation: first of all, she sat in the required sitting posture and then she carried the life air upward and placed it in the position of equilibrium near the navel. Then she raised her life air mixed with intelligence to the heart and then gradually towards the pulmonary passage and from there to between her eyebrows. Hare Krishna. So the process of how yogis leave their body is mentioned here. This about the Shat Chakras, right? The 6 chakras. So for a devotee, we don't have to bother all this, because for a devotee, what is the goal of these yogis? And why are they controlling the soul and then bringing it up and trying to put it out? What is their goal? Does anyone know?
Merging to Brahman. To become one with the Brahman. Not only
Brahman is for the Mayavadi. Sri Sri Radha Govind ki jai, Gauramantai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Merging with the Brahman is for Mayavadis and demons.
Mataji, to take the soul to whichever planet they want, wherever they want to go, they can take. So that's why they'll control it.
Yes, very good. So they want to take the soul to the one destination, mainly heavenly planets. They want to go to higher planetary system. So that's why the yogis, they meditate and somehow they bring the life air up and then through the up top of the head. You've seen that photo in front of that book, Easy Journey to Other Planets. There's a yogi sitting and there's a light here. So the yogis are like that. They want to take the soul to a particular planet. That's why they're doing this. Okay. Now, Sati Devi is also doing the same way. But then we know that all this yoga is just a gymnastic process. Prabhupada mentions yoga is like a gymnastic process. There is a yogi who do Shirshasana. You know Shirshasana? They take upside down and they stand on the head. No, they support. He sleeps while doing Shirshasana. When I slept during Shavasana, I went for yoga practice and my yogic teacher, we were like a few group of friends. We want to try different process. So we went. It is so costly and it was Shavasana and Mataji was saying so many things. Imagine your body is flying up in the hair and so nice smell, all that. We all started snoring. Shavasana, anyone will snore and the best sleep you can get. Everyone was sleeping and finally she had to wake us up. I'm like, this is not working. What is this? It's just gymnastic. One thing is my back pain went after doing all the yogic practice. But I'm not continuing it because now we are in Bhakti Yoga. So there was a yogi who do Shirshasana and snore. If you go near them, especially in the Himalayas and all, if you go near them, you can hear the snoring. How can somebody in Shirshasana snore? Now, that's their yogic power. They can control the life air and also, but that what yoga that is? Yoga means what? To connect to God. And Bhakti Yoga is the highest, right? So as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita also, yoginam abhi sarvesham madgate nandaratmanam shraddhavan bachate yomam Same yukta tamo mataha yoginam abhi sarvesham, about out of all the yogis, jnana yogi, karma yogi, ashtanga yogi and all that, who's the best? Bhakti yogi. Shraddhavan bhajade yoman. Shraddhavan, somebody who with faith do bhajan, do sadhana, he is the best. Now Krishna himself declares it. So why should we go for other yogic practice? But why is other yogic practice mentioned in Bhagavad Gita? Why is Krishna already finished Bhakti Yoga in the middle 6 chapters, 6 to 12. But again, why from 13th he is telling Jnana Yoga and before that Karma Yoga? Why Krishna is confusing? He can straight away go to Bhakti Yoga, right? Krishna himself says he's the highest. Somebody who's doing Bhakti Yoga is the highest.
For intellectual people, intelligent people.
For intelligent people, okay.
To make a difference, Mataji, that because there are so many people, they are doing different things. So they will try all the different things, and he's giving the ultimate is the Bhakti Yoga.
Yeah. So for intelligent people, Krishna gives this clue that out of all the yoga, the highest is Bhakti Yoga. So those who are intelligent, those who are here now in Krishna consciousness, we are all intelligent. Not materially, might be because somehow we are here. Not somehow, by Krishna's mercy we are here. So he is giving chance for everyone. If only Bhakti Yoga is there in Bhagavad Gita, we'll have very less registration in level 1. Nobody will come. Array, all religion. You go for book distribution, nobody will buy Bhagavad Gita, no? It's there, it's there. They never say, no, we don't have Bhagavad Gita. It's there from our grandfather's time. But we don't touch it. So my friend's house, there's Bhagavad Gita in the altar. So every day, this Achaman water is there, no? Her father puts it on the Bhagavad Gita. Her grandfather also put it on the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is swollen now. Not red. It is like this. What's the use of that? So the yoga means what? To connect to God. And the best way is, Krishna says, of all the yogis, the one who with faith, always thinking of me, rendering service, is the highest. That is Krishna's opinion. Okay. So best way is to meditate on Krishna. And also it is said that if you take 8th chapter, 23, 24, 25, all these verses, it says, for a Bhakti Yogi, it doesn't matter where he leave the body. There are different times at which a person can pass. So those who, some yogis, they want to pass during the day, some during night, some during Brahma Muhurta, some during, different times. So it's not for a Bhakti Yogi. For Bhakti Yogi, it doesn't matter where they leave the body, right? So Prabhupada mentions here, for a devotees who are totally surrendered, do not care where they leave their body or by what method, because they leave everything in Krishna's hands and happily return to Godhead. So we don't bother, right? So when I say about Bhakti Yogis, I like to talk about Ananta Shantidas. So I think all the Russian devotees, they know. Does anyone know who's Ananta Shantidas, who is Prabhupada's dear disciple? Heard about him? No? Anybody? He is very well known for something. Nobody heard. So Ananta Shantidas is the first Russian devotee, who Prabhupada preached just for 2 days. He was in Moscow. Prabhupada with Shyamasundar Prabhu was in Moscow. And Moscow at that time, at 60s, was very difficult to preach. So Prabhupada somehow wanted to preach, because Moscow was the place where where the communism and all that was going, and there was no devotees. If you chant Hare Krishna, you are arrested. And Ananta Shantidas Prabhu with his friend came, and he was so touched by seeing Prabhupada. 2 days, Prabhupada gave him maximum Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada made him sit and started discussing about soul, transmigration, about Krishna and everything, and gave him Bhagavad Gita also. So he was the first ever Russian devotee. At that time, it was very difficult for him to preach. So what he used to do, he used to offer red roses to Krishna, and he takes that roses out and he gives to everyone. Please smell this rose. You will become human next life. Because they are taking prasad, Krishna prasad. So police came, and the police were like, what are you doing? You're making everyone smell the rose. Why? So he said, I'm in love. So I just want to tell everyone that I fall in love. But he had fallen in love with Krishna and he wanted to make everyone smell the rose. So in that way, he tried to bring them. Then everyone became curious about him and he started bringing them to his home and preached. So he got married to Mandakini Devi Dasi Mataji, who is again Prabhupada's disciple, because Ananda Shanti Prabhu wanted a Western wife so that preaching can be done in a better way. So Prabhupada called Mandakini Mataji. I met her in Vrindavan. She's still there now preaching, but Ananda Shantidas Prabhu left in 2013. So Mandakini Mataji is still preaching, and she told that Prabhupada just called her and said, you go to Russia and preach, Moscow. For that you have to get married. She's like, she didn't even meet Ananda Shanti Prabhu, but Prabhupada's like, you have to get married. Officially they got married just for preaching, nothing else, just for preaching. And she went to Russia, Moscow, and there they started preaching. And Ananda Shanti Prabhu was put in jail for 5.5 years. He was drugged. He was given drugs so that he forget Krishna consciousness. And he was sleeping all the day, and they literally tried to kill him. But 5.5 years he was in a psychiatric jail where he was drugged because they thought he's been brainwashed by Krishna consciousness to forget the philosophy. So this 5.5 years, but before that he have done all the background work. He have translated Bhagavad Gita to Russian language and he have spread Krishna consciousness. And after 5.5 years, when he came out of the jail, 400 small ISKCON centers were opened in the all over Russia. And now Russia has the highest number of devotees, all because of one Ananda Shantidas Prabhu. He was empowered by Srila Prabhupada. So if you can type his name, you see his picture. He's glowing with effulgence. Okay, he's very dear to Srila Prabhupada because just one devotee was so enthusiastic. So this is what is Bhakti Yoga is. Right? One individual soul is enough, inspired soul to spread Krishna consciousness. So here Prabhupada mentions here in the next sloka, it doesn't matter how a yogi leaves the body. What matters is how we are in Krishna consciousness. So here Prabhupada mentions here, right? The real yoga is to get elevated to the Vaikuntha planets. In the sense, Bhakti Yoga directly elevates you to the eternal, blissful, full of knowledge world. And Bhakti Yoga is considered the greatest of all yoga system. Okay, so Sati, why she is doing this? She is the wife of Lord Shiva, Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu, right? And she's a Vaishnavi. Why she has to do all this yogic system? She could have done Bhakti Yoga, no? Why is she sitting in a place wearing saffron dress and trying to leave the body, soul out?
Yeah, she has to come back. If she practices Bhakti Yoga, she will go to Vaikuntha planet.
So if she want to come back, she will come back as whom?
Parvati.
Yeah, Mata Parvati. She wants to come back to be the wife of Lord Shiva in next life also. That's why she became the daughter of Himalaya, the Parvata, so her name Parvati came. So she only came back as Mata Parvati because she wanted to be with Lord Shiva again. So even she had a desire. So yogis, this indicate what? This is a proof that yogis will definitely come back, right? So, but the Bhakti Yogi will not come back. If he had realized Krishna, he'll go back to his original Vaikuntha planets. Okay, so that's why Bhakti Yoga is so important. So Ananta Shantidas Prabhu, I personally feel that he have done so much for Srila Prabhupada that Shyam Sundar Prabhu used to say that he was so attracted to Krishna consciousness that 2 days he was with Srila Prabhupada, that full 2 days he was completely absorbed and was thinking how to preach. He even got married and had a devotee wife to preach Krishna consciousness. And the proof is now, after so many years, if you turn back, you can see so many Russian devotees, all serious devotees, right? One Mataji, when we all got Brahmanic mantras, that is Gayatri mantra, and we have to chant it morning, afternoon and evening, and we forget, not like Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna Mahamantra, if you have some backlogs, you can finish tomorrow, but Gayatri mantra, you have to finish it that day only. Even if you forget, somehow before night you have to finish. So she used to keep reminder to chant Gayatri. So that was the sincerity, how much. And if you go to Vrindavan, you can see Russian devotees doing Harinam Sankirtan every day. every day. Even Mayapur, when we went last time, they had Gaurnitais and they were doing Harinam Sankirtan. So much they were inspired just by Ananda Shanti Prabhu. So here it is said Bhakti Yoga is the highest, and this Bhakti Yoga will take us to the highest goal. Okay, even if there is a loss, there is no loss. Even if there's a failure in Bhakti Yoga, still there is no loss. Neha vikramana sosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayade mahado bhayat. It will just save you from the greatest dangers. Mahado bhayat. What is that greatest danger we can ever have? What is the greatest danger here?
To fall down from this birth to animal's birth.
Mataji, to be born as an animal in the next Janma.
Yeah, to be born in an animal species. That is the greatest danger. Just imagine, after getting human form of life, fear of death is there, Shailaja Mataji, for everyone. Even an ant has a fear. I mean, even animals, everyone has fear of death. But that is not the highest, because there is no death as such. There's transmigration of soul. But the greatest danger, Rayada Mahado Bayat, the greatest danger is to go to an animal form of life. Because again, you have to go for transmigration of 84 lakh species of life. But if you get a human form, then, so that's why Bhakti Yoga is very important, right? Any small service you do, you will get human form next. So it is never a loss, okay? In case of cow, yes, cow is definitely, it's holy, and the next life of cow is a human form. So to become a cow also, you have to do a lot of pious activities, because it's a holy animal, okay? But I'm talking about other filthy animals, okay? So in that way, it is a loss if you go to an animal form of life. Okay, so now it's here, it's also said that a yogi can have Ichcha Mrityu. Prabhupada mentions somewhere here that they can decide when they are going to leave the body. That's called Ichcha Mrityu, right? Who is the one who had the Ichcha Mrityu? And we are celebrating that now.
Bhishma.
Bhishma. It's Bhishma Panchak now, because 5 days Bhishma was in the bed of arrows. How did he get that Ichcha Mrityu? His father, Shantanu Maharaj, wanted to marry a daughter of a fisherman. By then, Bhishma Dev was already born. He had Bhishma Dev already, 32 years old he was. But Shantanu Maharaj fell in love with a daughter of a fisherman, and he wanted to marry her. But the fisherman didn't give, because he's a Kshatriya, and then his daughter will not get that respect in that family. And he had one condition, that the son that is born out of Shantanu Maharaj and Satyavati should become the king. But that's not possible, because Bhishma Dev is eldest son. So Bhishma Dev understood that his father had a desire to get married. He went to the fisherman and said, don't worry, the son of my father and your daughter will be the next king. I will not become the king. So the fisherman didn't agree. Fisherman said, you might get married and you will have a son. What if he becomes the king? Then Bhishma Dev took the shapat that I will never get married in my life, right? He took that shapat. So Bhishma, once he takes a promise, he never break it. So being so inspired, and Shantanu Maharaj is like, my son have done so much for me. So he blessed him with the boon that you will have Ichcha Mrityu. He can die whenever he wants. So he was waiting for Uttarayan, right? So, when the bed of arrows was created by Arjuna, and he waited for Uttarayan. So what is that, Uttarayana?
Makar Sankranti, Mataji. When sun, that northern hemisphere it will go.
Okay, what was he
And
actually waiting for?
north,
If
sun
they die
moving to the
in
north.
Uttarayana, they will
rotates.
go to higher.
Mataji,
He was waiting for whom actually, Bhishma Dev? He wanted to see somebody and die.
Krishna.
Krishna, right? So if you say Uttarayana, Ayana means take shelter of Uttara. So Krishna took the shelter of the womb of Uttara to protect Parikshit Maharaj. So Uttarayana, that also means that Bhishma Dev was waiting for Krishna, right? To see Krishna. That's the best type of leaving the body, the art of leaving the body, to see Krishna, to chant his holy name in the association of devotees. And Bhishma Dev proved that he is the best yogi because he didn't just leave the body like that. He wanted to see Krishna and then leave the body. Okay, so this is Bhishma Panchak, and I'll stop with this. During the Bhishma Panchak, we are supposed to chant the Bhishma Stuti. Okay, so Supriti Mataji, you can just keep reading the translation. Okay, I'll just finish this 10 slokas. Hare Krishna, are you there?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. So it is 1.9.32. So all of you, this 10 slokas, I'll just finish up with this. Okay, the 10 slokas. First canto, 9th chapter, verse 32 to 42. 10 slokas is called Bhishma Stuti. Bhishma Dev glorified Krishna in these 5 days. What is happening now? The last days of Kartik month. Very, very special days, the 5 days. And if you chant this Bhishma Stuti, you get all the glories, all the benefit, because Bhishma Dev chanted these prayers. Okay, so this is first canto, 9th chapter, verse number 32. So I'll keep chanting the verse, Mataji, and you can keep saying the translation. Okay.
Yes,
So this is called Bhishma Stuti in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 9th chapter, verse number 32 to 42. Shri Bhishma Uvaja Iti Mati Rupa Kalpita Vitrishna Bhagavati Sattvaga Pungave Vibhumi Swasukhamupakate Kvachit Vihartum Prakritimupeyoshiyat Bhava Pravaha.
Translation. Bhishma Dev said, "Let me now invest my thinking, feeling, and willing, which were so long engaged in different subjects and occupational duties, in the all-powerful Lord Sri Krishna. He is always self-satisfied, but sometimes, being the leader of the devotees, he enjoys transcendental pleasure by descending to the material world, although from him only the material world is created."
त्रिभुवनकमलं तमालवर्णं रविकरगौरवराम्बरं दधाने वपुरलककुलवृत्ताननाब्जं विजयसकेरतिरस्तु मे अनवद्या.
Sri Krishna is the intimate friend of Arjuna. He has appeared on this earth in his transcendental body, which resembles the bluish color of the tamala tree. His body attracts everyone in the 3 planetary systems, upper, middle, and lower. May his glittering yellow dress and his lotus face, covered with paintings of sandalwood pulp, be the object of my attraction, and may I not desire fruitive results.
Bhishma Dev is glorifying Krishna. युदितुरगरजो विधूम्रविश्वक् कचलुलिता श्रमवारलङ्कृतस्ये मम निशितशरीर दीप्तिद्याम्ना त्वचि विलसत्कवचेस्तु कृष्ण आत्मा.
On the battlefield, where Sri Krishna attended Arjuna out of friendship, the flowing hair of Lord Sri Krishna turned ashen due to the dust raised by the hoofs of the horses, and because of his labor, beads of sweat wetted his face. All this decoration, intensified by the wounds dealt by my sharp arrows, were enjoyed by him. Let my mind thus go unto Sri Krishna.
So he wanted his mind to be on Krishna. Sapati Saki Vacho Nishimya Madhye Nija Parayor Balayoratam Niveshya Stitavati Parasainika Yurakshna Kritavati Partha Sakheratir Mamastu.
In obedience to the command of his friend, Lord Sri Krishna entered the arena of the battlefield of Kurukshetra between the soldiers of Arjuna and Duryodhana, and while there, he shortened the lifespans of the opposite party by his merciful glance. This was done simply by his looking at the enemy. Let my mind be fixed upon that Krishna.
Vyavahita pritana mukam nirikshya svajanavatat vimukasya dosha buddhya kumati marahadatma vidyayas charanarati parama tasya tasya mestu.
When Arjuna was seemingly polluted by ignorance upon observing the soldiers and commanders before him on the battlefield, the Lord eradicated his ignorance by delivering transcendental knowledge. May his lotus feet always remain the object of my attraction.
So Krishna's lotus feet should be our only attraction. That's what Bhishma Dev wants. Swanikamamapahaya pratijñam ritamati kartumavapluto ratasta dhritarata charano apyayachaladur haririvahantumipam gatottariya.
Fulfilling my awe and sacrificing his own promise, he got down from the chariot, took up its wheel, and ran towards me hurriedly, just as a lion goes to kill an elephant. He even dropped out his outer garment on the way.
So there's a beautiful picture you have seen, Krishna taking the wheel and going near Bhishma Dev, and he's enjoying this. So this is to protect Arjuna. Krishna broke his own promise. It's a very sweet. You can read this purport. Srila Prabhupada has given a very nice purport for this. Sita vishikahato vishirnadamsha shataja paripluta atataino me rasapamapi sasara madpadartam sabhavatu me bhagavan gatir mukunda.
May he, Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who awards salvation, be my ultimate destination. On the battlefield, he charged me as if angry because of the wounds dealt by my sharp arrows. His shield was scattered and his body was smeared with blood due to the wounds.
So here Bhishma Dev is appreciating how Krishna protected Arjuna. Vijayarata kudumba attatotre dritahaya rashminita shriye kshaniye bhagavati ratirashtu me mumurshor yamiha nirikshya hatagata swarupam.
At the moment of death, let my ultimate attraction be to Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. I concentrate my mind upon the chariot driver of Arjuna, who stood with a whip in his right hand and a bridle rope in his left, who was very careful to give protection to Arjuna's chariot by all means. Those who saw him on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original forms after death.
So this proves that all the Kauravas, they attained Sarubhya Mukti. They didn't get Sayujya Mukti because they saw Krishna in that Parthasarathi form and they attained the original form. They got Sarubhya Mukti. Okay, this proves in Bhagavad Gita that they didn't get Sayujya Mukti, they all got Sarubhya Mukti. Lalita Gati Vilasa Valguhasa Pranaya Nirikshana Kalpito Rumana Kritamanu Kratavatya Unmadanda Prakriti Makan Kilayasya Gopa Vadva.
Let my mind be fixed upon Lord Sri Krishna, whose motions and smiles of love attracted the damsels of Brajadhama, the gopis. The damsels imitated the characteristic movements of the Lord after his disappearance from the rasa dance.
So the gopis were doing all the pastimes of Putana and all that when Krishna left. Muni Gana Nripavarya Shankulenta Sadasi Yudhishthira Rajasuya Esham Arhanamupapeda Ikshaniyo Mama Drishi Gochara Esha Avir Atma.
At the Rajasuya Yagna sacrifice performed by Maharaja Yudhishthira, there was the greatest assembly of all the elite men of the world, the royal and learned orders, and in that great assembly, Lord Shri Krishna was worshipped by one and all as the most exalted personality of Godhead. This happened during my presence, and I remembered the incident in order to keep my mind upon the Lord.
This is about the Rajasuya Yajna, where Krishna was worshipped. The last verse of Bhishma Stuti. Kamimamahamajam sharirabhajam Ridi dishtitamatma kalpitanam प्रतिदृशमिव नैकदार्कमेकं समधिगतोऽस्मि विदूतभेद मोहा.
Now I can meditate with full concentration upon that one Lord, Sri Krishna, now present before me, because now I have transcended the misconceptions of duality in regard to His presence in everyone's heart, even in the heart of the mental speculators. He is in everyone's heart. The sun may be perceived differently, but the sun is one. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is what Bhakti Yoga is, to meditate on Krishna in full concentration. So the death of Bhishma Dev is very, very glorious because he remembers Krishna, he saw Krishna, and he is glorifying Krishna, right? So this is what our goal is. We won't be able to remember Krishna like Ajamila, just at the last moment call Narayana and then leave the body. No, that can't happen, right? And Ajamila also, actually, just by calling Narayana, his sins get destroyed, no? But it's not, it didn't happen towards the end of his life. Ajamila's sin got destroyed when? I'll stop with this. When did Ajamila's sin get destroyed? He lived with a prostitute all over his life.
When he uttered the name of
when he got the second dance.
And did
He did lot of austerities.
when he saw Yamabhadas. Hare Krishna.
When he named his son as Narayana and he called him.
When he named his son Narayana itself, his sins got destroyed. But again, he was suffering. Why? Because Krishna wanted to hide the glories of the holy name. He didn't want. So if you could name your children as Krishna's name, that means your sin is destroyed. Okay. But nowadays we have all funny names. But this is how Guru, if you ask your Guru, the Guru will definitely give you a name which is indicating the Lord. Because you keep calling that name and indirectly you're calling your son, but then directly you're calling your son, but indirectly the Lord's name is uttered. And when Ajamila named his son Narayan itself, his sin had got destroyed. So we can't be like him. So we should be like how Bhishma Dev, we can't be like Bhishma Dev also, but at least try to chant the holy name sincerely, try to hear the holy name. Okay, when you're sitting in a place which is not distracted, try to hear the holy name. Every time try to hear the holy name. Then what happens? Slowly, our mind also will get fixed in Krishna. Okay, and then whatever Krishna decided, our fate is, however we're going to leave our body. It doesn't matter where we leave our body, when we leave our body. Okay, because for a devotee, Krishna takes charge of him. If a devotee doesn't remember Krishna, Krishna remembers the devotee. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everyone. Anything to add? Yes, Ganeshan Prabhu, Hema Mataji, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Narottam Das Thakur left the body in Uttarayan. Okay. So actually, yeah, Uttarayan, but for a devotee, it doesn't matter where or when he leaves the body, as long as he is able to chant the holy name and remember Krishna. Yes, Hema Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Mataji, last verse was there, no, of Bhishma Stuti. In that he said that everyone hearts, no, though we also know in everyone hearts Krishna is there, but why we are not able to meditate in our heart and get that?
We're not still pure. We're not still pure. Srila Prabhupada could feel Krishna in his heart every time, but we are not able to feel that because we have all the anarthas covering, Mataji. So many anarthas, all kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. So many anarthas are still, we are still in that anartha nivritti stage. When
And
you have,
Mataji, those who are in the yogic, like you describe about the Shat Chakra and a meditation, and in the first or first stanza. So in that also some yogic people, they used to meditate on their heart chakra and they drag the God in their heart. So what do you say about that? That is also the part of Bhakti Yoga, or that is different?
no, dragging the Lord where?
In their like Shat Chakra meditation is there, na? In the heart meditation is also there, na? Heart chakra meditation. So there, I'm asking about that.
Meditation is to the form of the Lord or its holy name.
Uh-huh.
Meditating the chakra, they will not go to Vaikuntha or Goloka.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Because we have to meditate on the form of the Lord. Krishna says, Manmana bhavamat bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Manmana, Krishna says, think of me. Krishna, and in that translation, Krishna says, in the form of Krishna. not in the universal form, not in the four-handed form, but the two-handed Shyam Sundar form. So the meditation on the form of the Lord, or meditating on the holy name of the Lord, the pastimes of the Lord, Nama Rupa Guna Lila, that's the only way to go back to Krishna. If a person dies on Ekadashi, Rashmi Mataji, that's the best thing. It is said like during Brahma Muhurta or in Ekadashi or the Kartik month, that is definitely glorious death. Definitely they might go back to Vaikuntha Golaga or might have Shuchinam Srimadam Gehe, right? If you name your daughter as Radha, okay, even that is again glorious. They were naming the daughters as Radharani's name, Radhika, and so many other names. That is also done. Okay, Hare Krishna everyone. Thank you for joining. Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripasindhubhyo eva cha patitana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Kodi Vaishnava ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Thank you so much,
Hare
Mataji,
Krishna
for
Mataji,
amazing
thank
class.
you. Hare Krishna.